Drilling indoors has different considerations to drilling outdoors. I'm James Kitchen from DeWalt, and today we're going to show you how to control silica dust in internal settings. Some of the technologies we'll run through today are unique to DeWalt, but the techniques we'll show you are universal. Use the chapters below to skip to the bits that are relevant to you. To demonstrate what we're doing today, we're going to use concrete block. Concrete block is a fairly common substrate found in both industrial, commercial and residential locations. So it makes a perfect test bed for what we're going to show you. Being part of the concrete family, it also produces silica dust. And as we've alluded to in previous videos, removing silica dust from the job space is important. For this demonstration, we're going to use our compact STS drill. We have a range of different extraction units, so whether this be M-class extraction, which is job site critical, that is mandated by HSE, or whether it be lighter weight for fixing holes, something like the onboard dust extraction. This onboard dust extraction will take the same particles out of the air as what our M-class extraction would. However, the M-class extraction has multiple filters and an airflow sensor. This airflow sensor, coupled with an alarm, will let you know when this stops extracting, whereas this doesn't. This level of dust extraction is really important, not only for the visible dust, the bit we can see, but the invisible dust, which is the silicating dust that sits around in the air for long periods of time after drilling. This is why extraction is essential indoors. Because of the lack of airflow, the dust actually sits in the air for long periods of time. So that's not only then relevant for you when you're making the hole, but also for any residents or any people around you that will then be entering that area. Today we're going to be using a UV light to show you the dust that you can't see in normal drilling, and also show you the benefits of how dust extraction can really help clean up a workplace and keep that silica dust from entering the air. Just a quick note on containment. Making sure areas are free of people or customers, and making sure that anybody that is on site with you has got the right PPE protection the same as you would. It's important to wear decent ear protection, decent eye protection, so glasses or goggles, a decent mask, because although this will extract most of the dust, it's still important you don't breathe in the bits that it doesn't catch, and also a decent pair of gloves. Let's move over to our demonstration area so we can show you the different levels of extraction. As we were able to see, without dust extraction, there was a huge amount of dust created. When we moved to the onboard dust extraction, it minimised the amount of dust that was coming back into the air. When we finally moved to the M-class extraction, there was practically no dust created at the point that the bit was entering the brick. Before drilling any of those holes, we need to double check that our equipment is safe to use. Certainly with extraction, the importance is making sure it's working correctly. On the onboard dust extraction, making sure you've set the depth stop correctly so that the bit is always in contact with the brush, and also making sure your dust hopper is clear is really important. On the M-class extraction, making sure your accessories are correct for the tool, but also making sure things like your filters, your dust bags, both fleece and paper, are all intact and your hose is clear. Failure to do this could stop extraction happening in the right way and produce silica dust in the air, which we're trying to reduce. And once you've carried out the drilling, it's important to make sure that space is clean and free of any residual dust. We would recommend either using wet wipes to clean equipment down and surfaces down if needs be. It's important on any surrounding areas that we use the relevant dust accessories to suck up the remaining dust using our M-class vac to make sure that silica dust is controlled in the right way. So to summarise, drilling indoors requires different considerations to drilling externally. We need to make sure that our extraction is correct, so whether that be M-class extraction or whether it be onboard dust extraction. We also need to make sure we have the right accessories, whether that be telescopic accessories or whether that be on-wall accessories. And it's also really important that we have the right PPE, so whether that be our ear defenders, our dust masks, an appropriate pair of gloves, and our goggles. And as we've alluded to, it's really important that once we've done the job, that we clean down in the correct order. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. If you want more considerations on what you should do when you're outdoor, please have a look at our video on core drilling, which will cover the differences between suppression and extraction when we're looking at outdoor. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more practical engineering guides.